Janet produced two series of the Laminex tables. The first ones were from 1964, when she received a commission from Laminex companies to create an item of furniture that would display their great new modern colour range and how that could be adapted for everyday use, which she exhibited and sold, and then decided to do another version in 1968. She did square ones as well, but the circle ones, to my mind, are the most evocative and the snazziest. Some of them are in museum collections, and of course they're very pristine, and then there are some that have been being used throughout their life and have been lived with, and Janet particularly liked the fact that there was evidence of that, like a stain from a mug or coffee stain on there. She really liked the fact that these had been used and lived with throughout their life. The quirky history to Wall 2, well, Wall 2 was I don't want to say copy, but a new version of Wall 1, which was first exhibited in the field exhibition at the NGV in 1968. The work was acquired by the National Collection, now the National Gallery of Australia, on the condition that she repaint what was a work on pine board on canvas. So the director at the time didn't like the pine board support, and she very readily, happily took up the challenge. The term wall, it referred to a lot of things in Dawson's mind, but the most obvious reference is the flatness of colour field painting. So she's playing around with that idea. She's breaking the rules because she doesn't just do the flat surface, she does these alternating tiles, if you like. And what Mary Eagle has referred to as a cloudy atmosphere. So she's essentially instilling a sense of light, of luminosity, of cloudiness into her abstract aesthetic. It's from the late 60s that Janet started thinking about the idea of working away from the confines of the rectangle, and we see that in some of her shaped canvases from 1968. She liked the idea of working with a form that was closer to the forms of nature. But one of the reasons she was able to achieve this too is she was working at the Australian Museum as a production assistant, and she got to work with the carpenter in their workshop who crafted these really beautiful supports for her, and she found that process really important in what she wanted to express at the time. So in Vinalong today, you still find in so many homes, even in the pub in the centre of town, works by Janet Dawson, so works that she not necessarily exhibited to the wider public, but she would just make and draw for people she knew. In a way, I got this very strong sense that art for Janet was not just something, and she said this herself as well, that's meant to adorn gallery walls. It's something, the substance of everyday life and daily life, and that comes back to her work with the tables, for example. They're beautiful objects, beautifully made, but they were meant to be used.